Welcome back, guys. It is Monday. You know what that means. We have new Dkayed leaks, obviously, for the August pack. If you have not seen that, we are getting, just to quickly talk about this, we're getting another pack in this month, at the end of the month, it stands here, it's the 29th of this month of July. And we've talked about this already, getting the Dragon Master Magier as well as a full armored utopic Ray Lancer. Obviously, there will be other cards. Another card that we already knew of is this new monster Reborn thing here, just called, I think it's just called Monster Reborn. Yeah, this one. The spell card, a Monster Reborn, target one monster in either graveyard. This is for cost, special summon it to your field, but it cannot attack or activate its effects this turn. This is a quick play spell, which is actually not a bad card. Will definitely come up at some point in some metas. I am pretty sure about this, especially because it is a quick play spell. Of course, this will also be in this pack here. Other than that, this might be more of an enemy pack. So for all of you who are playing on the more competitive side, this is most likely not that interesting, but just so you know, in the terms of how you want to manage your resources, we're getting another pack this month, and then obviously we are getting the next pack probably around the, I don't know, 10th or 9th of August, like it always is basically, but I guess the 10th of August being a Saturday makes it unlikely to be the 10th of August. I guess it's more around the 8th or 9th, because we have never ever gotten a new pack on a Saturday, so I don't think we will get this. It's normally around these 3 days here. It's more normally a Thursday, a Tuesday, or a Wednesday. Sometimes it is a Friday. Has never been a Monday, I think, but yeah, that is all for the next pack. And what will come in the next pack? We have the first leak waves basically, and the thing that I wanted to talk about first is Voiceless. Okay, right? So we will talk about the leaks in a moment. Voiceless is not what is coming, but Voiceless is definitely, and I will also make a video about this topic in the upcoming days. I will talk about what I think will be released in the upcoming pack, and Voiceless, in my opinion, is a candidate that will for pretty sure be in the next pack. This is not the leak. The leak will come in a second here. This and Goblin Rider, because these are the last cards, not Goblin Rider. These are the last cards that are basically missing from Phantom Nightmare, not like the last ones, but the last big archetypes missing from Phantom Nightmare, and we already are on the next set basically. We could also see Temper Dragon, even though I don't think that's will be the case. I think Temper Dragon will spike the interest of a lot of people in the game again, and then we will find that Temper Dragon will definitely destroy the game and does not lead to a very good game state in a best of one format, with this going second deck being very strong. But without further ado, what we will get in the next pack is the Ice Barrier support, and you can see right here that the Ice Barrier support actually consists of these 5 cards here, which will probably be the cards that we will get in the next pack, so that we have all the Ice Barrier stuff. Unfortunately, it's not really that meta relevant. This actually is a card that has not even been released in the OCG, so that means we won't get this card, the Medallion of the Ice Barrier, or is it just an alternative art? Okay, there is a translation, so we will get it actually, it's already in the game. Okay, this is only an alternative art that has been released. Okay, so the Medallion is something that we already have. Add 1 Ice Barrier monster from your deck to your hand, which is basically a rota for Ice Barrier. But yeah, we'll get new Ice Barrier stuff, and if you're wondering what is Ice Barrier ever doing, then you are wondering right, because this is not a deck that you ever see somewhere, honestly, and this is not even an engine that is being splashed in a lot of decks, though this could come up. You can splash this, for example, in Sprite if you want to, but this will definitely not make the biggest meta impact, as we have also seen in the TCG. This had been released, or the new support has been released in one of the packs that has just recently been released in the TCG, and didn't really change anything as was to be expected, because the fire decks obviously, and also other stuff like Jubel, Fiendsmith, and Temper Dragon are just too strong. Basically take all the spots for the decks that you want to play, so that Ice Barrier doesn't really shine and doesn't really have the opportunity to shine. We will get Lancia, Ancestral Dragon of the Ice Mountain. You need 1 water tuner, 1 non-tuner monster once per chain. If your opponent special summons a monster during the damage step, except during the damage step, you can special summon 1 Ice Barrier monster from your hand, extra deck, or graveyard. Then you can change 1 attack position monster your opponent controls to defense position. Very interesting. Once per chain if your opponent special summons a monster, so obviously very nice against stuff like Snake Eye that are specially summoning a lot of monster. Note here that this is not an inherent special summon. This is just like an effect special summon. Once per chain if your opponent special summons a monster. No, this is actually inherent special summon, right? So if your opponent special summons a monster, you can let me know in the comments. I'm not 100% sure here, but this should be an inherent special summon. Then again, there's a this is an inherent. I think this counts for both, for inherent special summons, so special summon from the extra deck, and a special summon for example, original Sinful Spoils. Not quite sure here. And you can only use this effect. Okay, twice per turn. You can use it twice per turn. Interesting. If this face up synchro summon card in its owner control leaves the field because of an opponent's cards, you can special summon one Ice Barrier synchro monster from your extra deck. Okay, this is quite nice. Obviously, nice card. We have a Georgios Swordsman of the Ice Barrier level 6 here. While you control another Ice Barrier monster, your opponent cannot activate the effects of monsters in the graveyard. Very interesting here. This is definitely something that is quite effective against some decks. So definitely a nice tech if you want to play pure Ice Barrier, which you definitely can. You can see there are a lot of Ice Barrier cards in the game already. And if you want to play pure Ice Barrier, this is something that you can do, but it's just not that effective. But this effect is quite nice. If you control an Ice Barrier monster, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. This is also quite normal. These level 6 base monsters or level 5 or higher base monsters can normally be special summoned, because how would you summon them otherwise? An archetype that wants to be effective in these days of Yu-Gi-Oh! Cannot really say, okay, you need to tribute summon for this level 5 monster here. You used your normal summon. This doesn't really work. They need this additional clause here that allows them to be special summoned very easily in order to be even a bit competitive viable. If this card is normal special summon, you can special summon one level 5 or lower Ice Barrier monster from your hand or graveyard. So all in all, quite a nice card, a nice extender that also gives you another body here. Then we have Mirror Mage of the Ice Barrier, the level 2 here, which makes it possible to combine this with Sprite if you want to. You can tribute one other effect monster, special summon up to 3 Ice Barrier tokens, and if you do increase this card's level by that number, so by 3, which would make this level 5 tuner. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except Water Synchro monsters, so you get 3 Ice Barrier tokens with level 1, which means you then have a level 8 available. The new one is a level 10, but we would definitely, not the biggest expert on Ice Barrier here, probably have level 8 Ice Barrier monsters available to make here. And now that I look about this, there is not a single level 8 Ice Barrier monster, so turns out that with the Mirror Mage alone, it does not seem to be the case that you can make an Ice Barrier synchro monster. Obviously, there are other synchro 8s that you can go into. This is quite nice if you ask me. You need to attribute another effect monster, but just being able to make this guy and then make a synchro 8, this is quite nice. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add one of your Ice Barrier cards that is banished or in your deck to your hand. Also very nice, because obviously you will send this to the graveyard when you synchro summon with it, and you will synchro summon with it because this is a tuner. You can only use each effect of Mirror Mage of the Ice Barrier once per turn. Quite nice. A 1000 attack, 400 defense, not that relevant. We have Frozen, a domain of the Ice Barrier. Your opponent cannot continue, so your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to the activation of your Ice Barrier effect monsters. This is very nice, because what this means, I'm not quite sure how we can, or if we can set this on our first turn, which obviously would be nice, because what we could do then, or on our second turn basically, what we could do then, we could imagine our opponent having like an Appaloosa or like an Ash Blossom or any other monster related hand trap, and for example, if we wanted to activate our Mirror Mage of the Ice Barrier, our opponent could then, if we have the Frozen domain of the Ice Barrier up on the field and ready to be activated or ready to have its lingering effect being active, they can, for example, then not Appaloosa our Mirror Mage of the Ice Barrier, or could not, for example, Ash Blossom another search monster that we might have, like the Georgios Swordsman, which would need to be like Ghost Belt here because it says graveyard. But you get my point here. The Frozen domain of the Ice Barrier protecting us from monster effects. This is super nice. If a monster is special summoned from the extra deck, so yeah, this obviously is something we will do because we are going to synchro summon. You can return to the hand or shuffle into the deck one Ice Barrier monster you control. Then you can place one card on the field or either graveyard on the bottom of the deck. Also very nice. Obviously, it's cool that you can place one card on the field, so you can get rid of one of your opponent's interruptions, or maybe face down cards that you don't know what that is. Might be an impermanence or something. Get rid of this. This is quite nice. Or you can also choose the graveyard, for example, take a Promethean Princess, put it back to the extra deck, or you could, I don't know, put something, some Snake Eye. I'm always talking Snake Eye because this is the strongest deck and will be the strongest deck for a while now. You can, for example, also put an original Sinful Spoils back onto the bottom of the deck, or if we talk Jubel, you could also put some of the Jubel stuff back on the bottom of the deck so your opponent can't go into a Phantom of Jubel, for example, or you could put a Gruesome Grave Squirmer back or whatever. So very nice effect here. because you always need to understand a new incoming deck in terms of what it can do against the best meta deck at the moment, because this will obviously determine whether you will see this deck being played or not, which doesn't mean that it can't be played in the future when the meta is weaker, but at the current stance, it won't be happening here basically. You can only use this effect of Frozen Domain of the Ice Barrier once per turn during the end phase, reveal 3 Ice Barrier monsters with different names in your extra deck or destroy this card. Okay, I just wanted to say, I was about to say that I think a third effect on this card would be insane, because I think the first 2 ones are already very, very strong. If this card had a third bonus effect, giving you a net positive, that would be crazy, but it's not a net positive, it's a net negative that you need to reveal something in order to this and not being destroyed. But yeah, we'll get the Ice Barrier cards as the first leak for the next upcoming pack, and as I already talked about, I am seeing us getting either, and I will talk about this in another video that is coming up in the next days, we will see a Voiceless, a Voice, or a Goblin Rider. I'm quite sure of that, and if I would have to guess, I would guess that we get the Voice stuff, because Ice Barrier is not really a fan favorite, so you can't really make an August pack with only like crap stuff in it, if you want to call it that, or like, it's not crap stuff, but it's stuff people are not that interested in. Goblin Biker also something that people are not that interested in. People are definitely more interested in Voice, which is why I think we will get something like Voice, and which is why I also can imagine us getting Temper Dragon, for example, because people are interested in that, even though they will find out later that it's not a good idea adding this to Master Duel, but that's a different point. So guys, let me know in the comments what you think. By the way, if you like my videos, please consider subscribing, hitting the thumbs up and the notification bell. Let me know in the comments what you think of the first leaks here, and we will see each other in the next one.